Oh, do I have to explain this? This is not dope. All right, you know what it is.
What is it?
An Indian cigarette called a Sher Beedi. The lepers roll them for for nothing. Just to feel good doing something, you know, while you're... The leper roll, that one did a lousy job. And the guy who made this lighter must have been another leper. Trouble. I had my camera and took the shot through the shop window. And a rather tall, ugly lady, neck bent forward, ran out of the shop. "What are you doing?" she asked. "What did you photograph?" "I photographed the naked mannequin," I told her. "I'd rather you didn't take any more photos," she said. "All right," I said, and I walked down the street with my camera, with her staring after me. I felt guilty and upset, even though I had done nothing really improper. It usually happened to me at least once a day. I turned, dropped to one knee, focused, and photographed her. She waved her arms and screamed, and I shot her again. The trouble with these people is that their cities have never been bombed and their mothers have never been told to shut up. How did I ever get in a fix like this, looking at all these faces? You know, if you think I look bad to you, competition. We live by the harbor now, and at night the ships often blow their foghorns. She is a light sleeper. She will leap up, sitting straight up in bed. "Damn! What is it? What is it? I thought you farted." "Not that time, dear." She is a good child. Living with me has dysfunctioned her nerves. Actually, I like to save up my farts for the bathtub. Those gray bubbles waft up a magic stench. Farting is much like fucking. You can't do it all the time. But when you do, there oftentimes comes a feeling of proudness, as if your artistry in the act were a rare and precious thing. I fart more than I fuck. And I fart better than I fuck. And I am pleased to be mistaken for a foghorn in the middle of the night. What's this, some LSD cum liquid? Take it away. Secret of my endurance. I still get letters in the mail, mostly from crack-up men in tiny rooms with factory jobs or no jobs, who are living with whores or no women at all. No hope, just booze and madness. I get most of their letters on lined paper, written with an unsharpened pencil or in ink, in tiny handwritings that slant down to the left. and the paper is most often torn, usually halfway up the middle. And they say they like my stuff. I've written from where it's at. They recognize it truly. I've given them some chance, some recognition of where it's at. It's true, I was there, even worse off than most of them. But I wonder if they realize where their letter arrives. Well, it is dropped into a box on a wire fence behind a 6-foot hedge and a long driveway to a 2-car garage, rose garden, fruit trees, animals, a beautiful woman, mortgage about half paid after a year's residence, a new car, 2 cars, fireplace, and a green rug 2 inches deep, with a young boy to write my stuff now. I keep him in a 10-foot square cage with a typewriter. Feed him whiskey and raw horse. Belt buckle him pretty good, 3 or 4 times a week. I'm 60 years old now, and the critics say my stuff is getting better than ever. I started drinking before you people were born. I'll be drinking after I bury you. That's a fucking unreasonable statement, isn't it? Yeah. I wish you were. You'd love to see me die. Just shoot my gun. It's all right. It's okay, I understand. This last poem is called Giving a Poetry Reading. You gotta do it. Look at them. This place like a bar. Sold out. Poet and audience both drunk. Now and then a flashbulb goes off. The mic still doesn't work. The poet sits, a chance to drink more. A little girl comes up. Sweet, sexy, psychotic. Was one of the poet's books open to autograph. He writes, I could rip you apart in 3 minutes. Forgets to sign his name. Calls for another drink. The mic works. Now the poet reads, feeling put upon, forgetting that he has agreed to read for money. After several poems, the poet stands up, announces, you goddamn slimy shits. You think this is easy? It's nothing but a motherfucking bloodletting. Give us more blood! Screams a young boy from the back. It's the best poem of the night. The poet drinks off half a glass of straight whiskey, lights a cigar, hacks it out. Sometimes they laugh. Sometimes they applaud. They confuse him, but most things do. He drinks his way to the finish. No, there's an applause of relief. Okay? Exactly. Then another sweet, sexy, psychotic girl comes up to his table, says she's from the local paper, would like to ask some questions. She sits down. He answered the first question, looking at her hair, at her eyes, imagining her in bed with him. What do you think of F. Scott Fitzgerald, she asked. I never, he answers, think of him. Waving hand in nonchalant emphasis, he spilt a large beer across her tight blue jeans, saying, Jesus, Jesus, I'm sorry, rubbing his hands along her knees and her wet thighs as if to dry her. She leaves and the promoter waves with the money. $432. Shit, says the poet, you promised me $500. Well, we had to pay these two big guys $68 to keep the crowd from swarming over you. You mean I was that good? Asked the poet. That bad, says the promoter, getting up and leaving. The poet pours another drink, grabs the mic. Listen, I ain't finished yet. I'm going to read you another poem. Somebody shuts the mic power off. Nobody protests. The poet gets down from his table, makes it to the men's room, stands pissing. A man next to him is also pissing. The poet says to the man, listen, buddy, where can I get a piece of ass? I was going to ask you the same thing. This reading is over.